Ford has been building cars for over a century. In that time, they've made some of the most legendary vehicles ever, and some total disasters that they probably wish we'd all forget. Today, we're looking at the 3 best and 3 worst Fords ever made. Let's get started. Welcome back to SupercarIQ, where we rank the best and worst cars from every major brand. If you love cars, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into Ford. Our first pick for the best Ford is the 2005 Ford GT. This wasn't just a car, it was a history lesson on wheels. Inspired by the legendary GT40, which dominated Le Mans in the 1960s, the GT brought back Ford's racing spirit in a modern package. Under the hood, you got a 5.4-liter supercharged V8 with 550 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. That meant 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds with a top speed of over 200 miles an hour. Only about 4,000 were ever built between 2005 and 2006, which makes it extremely collectible today. Back then, it cost around $150,000 new. Now you'll need closer to $500,000 to get one. Even Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear called it one of the greatest cars ever made, though he also complained about how often his broke down, which only added to the car's legend. The Ford GT was proof that America could build a true supercar to rival Ferrari and Lamborghini. Next up, we've got the original Ford Mustang from 1965. If the GT was a racing legend, the Mustang was a cultural phenomenon. It debuted in April 1964 at the New York World's Fair, and Ford expected to sell maybe 100,000 in the first year. Instead, they sold over 418,000. It was affordable, starting at just $2,300, which is about $22,000 in today's money, and it was customizable for everyone. You could get a humble 6-cylinder commuter or a roaring V8 muscle car. The Mustang basically invented the pony car class. Long hood, short deck, sporty design, but still practical and affordable. It became a pop culture icon, from Steve McQueen's epic chase scene in Bullitt to songs like Mustang Sally. To this day, it's one of Ford's most beloved and recognizable cars. The Mustang didn't just sell cars, it defined an era. And finally, no list of Ford's best would be complete without the Ford F-150. Launched in 1975, the F-150 became the backbone of Ford's lineup, and honestly, the backbone of America. It's been the best-selling vehicle in the United States every single year since 1981. That's over 4 decades at the top. Why? Because it does everything. It's a dependable work truck, a family hauler, and with today's versions, even an off-road beast. It's gone through 14 generations now, from simple farm trucks to hybrids, and even the all-electric Lightning. Ford sells an F-Series truck every 49 seconds on average. That's insane. The F-150 might not be flashy like the GT or iconic like the Mustang, but it represents Ford at its core. Reliable, tough, and built for the people who need it most. Now let's switch gears and look at the worst Fords ever, starting with the infamous Pinto. The Pinto was Ford's attempt to compete with cheap imports like the VW Beetle and Toyota Corolla. On paper, it should have been a simple, affordable runabout. Instead, it became known as one of the most dangerous cars ever built. The problem was its fuel tank. It was placed just behind the rear axle, which meant that in rear-end crashes it could rupture and ignite. Even worse, Ford was accused of knowing about the flaw and deciding it was cheaper to settle lawsuits than to redesign the car. The fix would have cost just $11 per car. Between 27 and 180 deaths are estimated to be linked to Pinto fires, depending on which report you believe. Despite this, Ford still sold about 3 million of them. The press nicknamed it the barbecue that seats 4, and the Pinto is still remembered as one of the darkest chapters in Ford's history. Next on the list is the Ford Edsel, probably the most famous flop in automotive history. Ford invested around $250 million into the Edsel project, about $2.5 billion in today's money. They hyped it up as the car of the future, but when it finally launched in 1958, the public hated it. The design was mocked for its strange horse collar grille, It was overpriced and it launched right as a recession hit. People simply didn't want a flashy, expensive car at the time. Ford expected to sell 200,000 a year, but in 3 years they sold only 84,000 total. The Edsel lost Ford a fortune, and the name itself became a synonym for failure. Even today, when something flops in business, people call it the Edsel of its time. That's how badly this car bombed. And finally, we've got the Ford Explorer. Not because the SUV itself was awful, but because of the scandal that surrounded it. The Explorer debuted in 1991 and was a huge hit, basically kickstarting the SUV craze in America. But in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was hit with the Firestone tire scandal. The tires fitted to Explorers were prone to tread separation at highway speeds, leading to catastrophic rollovers. Over 200 deaths and more than 3,000 injuries were linked to the incidents. Ford blamed Firestone's tire design, while Firestone said Ford's recommended tire pressure was the problem. In the end, Ford had to recall 6.5 million tires, costing them over $3 billion. The scandal destroyed public trust in the Explorer, and SUV safety in general took a huge hit. It's a reminder that even a popular car can go down in history for the wrong reasons. So there you have it, the 3 best and 3 worst Fords ever made. On the good side, we've got the legendary Ford GT, the cultural icon Mustang, and the unstoppable F-150. On the bad side, the dangerous Pinto, the embarrassing Edsel, and the scandal-ridden Explorer. Ford proves that even the biggest car companies can hit the highest highs and the lowest lows. And honestly, that's what makes car history so fascinating. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think are the best and worst Fords ever made? Did I miss one of your picks? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next episode. Thanks for watching.